Hi.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
The first thing is we're going to invite up Ron to give us some announcements. We'll unmute this one.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you'll silence your iPhones, Android, or any other device you have, just shut it off. We'd appreciate it. My name is Ron Van, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's see, we have a lot of events, all right? Let's see, Jonathan Landman becomes a bar mitzvah on Saturday, on the 20th. and that'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's see, May 21st, join us for an end-of-the-year community-wide celebration at 9:30. Worthwhile. On May the 27th at 5:30 p.m., we will celebrate Karen Friedman and Tammy Schumer for all they have given really to Bethel over the past 2 years as co-presidents. A terrific couple, really. Join us every Wednesday for Sisterhood Shalom Yoga, and that'll be at 10 o'clock, and Jewish meditation, not Mediterranean, at 11:30. Sisterhood begins Mahjong at every Friday at 10 o'clock at the Elkin Library, and more information on all events can be found in our newsletter. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Enjoy the sermon.
And now, to welcome in Shabbat, I'd like us to turn to a not traditional welcoming in of Shabbat song, Lechi Lach, on page 645, 645. And yes, I am very aware that we are not in Lech Lecha as a Torah portion. That's a little bit before where we are now. But I'll explain later on why we're singing Lechi Lach as an opening, page 645.
Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach, lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And to continue welcoming in Shabbat, I'd like to invite up Tracy Aquila to help us light the candles and do the Kiddush. And you can find the candles on page 120, 120, and the Kiddush will be on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Vishabat kocho, bahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemaase v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikra e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Please join me on page 126, 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Please join with me in the reading. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. And now we turn to page 142, 142 for Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malechei Hasharet, Malechei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malechei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malechei HaShalom, Malechei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malechei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malechei HaShalom, Malechei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzichem L'Shalom, Malechei HaShalom, Malechei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 146, 146.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. And let's actually stay on that, near that page, and turn to page 147, just right there. Please join me in the reading, the second reading, the reading at the bottom that starts, O God. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. O let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. And now let us turn to page 148 for Ma'ariv Aravim.
Yada die, 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 die. Yada die, 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 die. Yada die, die, die. Yada die, die, yada die, 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim.
Please join me in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Now let's turn to page 150. Please join with me. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now please rise in body or spirit for the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai
You may be seated. We turn to page 154, 154 for the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. And now please turn to page 159, 159, and join with me. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, a song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And now we flip back to page 158, 158, for our people's song of redemption.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh, nora tehilot osei feleh. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bukei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai Jacob, uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
And now we turn to page 160, 160, for Hashkivenu. And we're going to be doing the version that's on the top of the left-hand page, actually 161. Page 161 at the top.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomrinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu, Sukat Shlomecha, Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu, Leshalom, Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
And now we turn to page 162 for the Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Hang on to that Beini Uvein V'nei Yisrael from the Vishamru that we just sang, because it's going to come back later on, and it's in our Torah portion tonight. Not the Vishamru, but some of those same words. So it's apropos, and we'll come back to it later. For now, let us turn to page 164, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Tefillah portion of our service, the Amidah.
Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magem Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor l'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atarav lehoshia, morid hatal. Mechokel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'agiverot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atala hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. And now we turn to page 175. Please join me in the English at the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, in our doubt, our love, longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And now we turn to page 178 for Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam.
And now, as we turn to page 371, 371, our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing. And I'd like to invite up Elaine Wright to open the ark for us as we turn to page 371. And when she does, I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit. 371. Actually, hold on one sec, okay. Before she opens the ark, the congregation is thinking of people who are in need of healing. And first I'll invite the people on the live stream if they'd like to share where they are, the names of anyone who needs healing. The congregation is thinking of Jim DeArmond, Anita Perlman, Rebecca Kaufman, Pearl Levin, Marcia Cohen, Ron Rappaport, Rose Iglico, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, David Cohen, Rivka Bathinda, Carol Solomon, Ben Fishman, Shelley Fishman, June Van, Rabbi Michael Matchison, Deborah Rosen, Dennis Montagna, Vicky Dunn, Sherry Chait, Jerry Chait, Larry Michaelov, Antoinette Worrell, Dennis Greiner, Robert Dawkins, Mary Louise Boyer, Stuart Rosenthal, Gary Darrow, David Adler, Arthur Aglico, Cheryl Young, Eileen Thrasher, Velma Krasenstein, and Daniel Motz. If there is anyone here who has a name that they'd like to share with the community, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. I invite you to rise in body or spirit on page 371. We hold all their names together as a community for the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say,
Amen.
You may be seated. And now, having prayed for peace and prayed for healing, I invite you all to take a few moments for silent meditation.
Oseh shalom bimromav, Uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. For this sermon tonight, we're going to need a half cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, a quarter cup of cold water, a quarter cup of orange juice, 1 pound of Bing or other dark sweet cherries, rinsed and pitted, or you can use frozen ones, half a teaspoon of finely grated orange zest, 3 cups of vanilla bean ice cream, half a teaspoon of cherry extract, and a quarter cup of brandy. Now, we need all that stuff because this is the recipe for Cherry's Jubilee. Now, I don't know what recipe King Charles is going to have made for him, but the story goes that in 1879, Escoffier, famous chef, created the recipe Cherry's Jubilee in honor of the 50th birthday of, I think it was Queen Victoria back then. So, again, I'm not sure who's going to make whatever recipe for Charles. We wish him well. And the reason why I bring it up is because this Torah portion is all about Jubilees and the way that the Jubilees were celebrated and observed back in the day. Every 50 years, there were a lot of rules about land returning to its owner and the way that people had to treat each other. Those who had become indentured servants were set free, a lot of different rules depending on who you were, how we treated each other, and rules and practices of everything. Farming was affected by the Jubilee year. We were told that we weren't allowed to farm for that whole year. We were eating what the land produced, and so God would actually give us a really big crop the year before the Jubilee and the years after the Jubilee, so we had enough to last us all the way through the not farming and then yield of the next year. The Jubilee is an important idea for how we lived our lives back then in the days of the Torah. And like other things in the Torah, there are ways to bring it forward today, like the recipe for Cherry's Jubilee. One of the other things that I want to talk about as far as things that were in the Torah that I'd like to bring forth is Lechi Lach. I brought it to us earlier as the song, and also from Vishamru, Beini Uvein V'nei Yisrael, because this Torah portion, as well as discussing the laws of the Jubilee, also talks about blessings and curses. This is a Torah portion, Bechukotai, where we have the inspiration for God being a vengeful and angry God that was taken and run with by many the English major writer from back in the day as well. Fortunately, we don't have to believe in that kind of God to believe in God. We have choices. We can take with us the things that we want to and decide where to go and how to channel those beliefs and how to act on them. Like the song Lechi Lach, God is telling us to be a blessing to each other, to the world. Instead of instead of God threatening us with curses, we are allowed now to take the blessings, to take those ideas of blessings and to bring those into our lives. And so with B'nai Uvein V'nei Yisrael from Vishamru, we have a similar line in this week's Torah portion It's in Leviticus 26, verse 46, which I'll be chanting tomorrow morning. These are the laws, rules, and instructions that Adonai established through Moses on Mount Sinai with the Israelite people. Beini Yisrael, Natan Adonai, Beino Uvein Bnei Yisrael, that God established with the children of Israel. And so, I'd like us to think about not the threats, not the threats, there we go, not the threats of curses, not God threatening us with curses, but the idea of God blessing us and the covenant that we made with God from the Vishamru, the idea of us being blessings from Lechilach, and bringing it all together. So I wish for all of us that we have a chance to rest this Shabbat so that we can go out and treat each other with blessing, to be blessings to each other and to ourselves in the world. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And now we turn to
586.
We turn to page 586, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those whom we have lost. Remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. Remember our brothers and sisters and siblings whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the parents, for the children who were and for the children yet to be, we remember. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, those whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. The congregation is remembering those whom we have lost in recent days: Phyllis Zuckerman, Nancy Honig, Judy DeArmond, Gloria Bell, Dorothy Zemlich Fine, Gordon Overton, Jay Aronoff, Marcel Retner Mandelbaum, Clara Ostfeld, Lionel Gleichenhaus, Lawrence Merrill Saxon, Anna Logsden, Rayla Montagna, Robert Ruiz, and Arnold Katz. And those whose yardsites we are observing at this time: Arlette Belkin, Harry Bernhardt, Gladys Bockel, Adolph Brown, Janice Chin, Eli Corman, Linda Kornman Sukoff, Hyman B. Dicker, David Freifeld, Evelyn Gaylor, Babs Goldstein, Goldith Hyman, Max Ilano, Jesse Merlust, Esther Rubin, Martin Sills, Mary Thornblom, Kay Turner, Steve Verton, and Jean Witten. If there is anyone on the live stream who has a name that they would like to share, I invite you to do so now. And anyone in the congregation who has a name that they'd like to share, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of their names together as a community. We turn to page 598, 598. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yidromam v'yitnaseh, V'yid hadar, v'yid aleh, v'yid halal, shmei kudasha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yamru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'yamru, amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. You may be seated.
Amen.
And now, because this weekend is the end of the book of Leviticus, I forgot to mention before, but these two Torah portions, the last one finishes the book of Leviticus, and like we have done here before at the end of each book, and we would, God willing, continue to do for many, many, many more ends of books in the future, we sing the song Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Dan Nichols put it to lyrics, and the words are Chazak, strength, Chazak, strength, V'nit Chazek, and let us be strengthened. That through the study of Torah, through the practice of Judaism, we are strengthened individually and together as a community. And so please join with us. The rest of the words are, be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. And you'll catch on.
Be strong,
Let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. One more time. Let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, everyone. Let us strengthen one another. Shabbat shalom. And we will strengthen each other as well with the priestly benediction, which can be found on page 603, 603. I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Kein Yehi Ratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yihuneka.
Kein Yehi Ratzon. May God's light shine upon you and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Kein Yehi Ratzon. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.